rebellion. And Greek rather renders it as humbleness. So, so Mary is funny. It means both rebellion and humbleness. And of course, Martha is the name, and Martha is the name we're going to revolve around so much. Martha as a name, of course, its meaning is different from Miriam and Lazarus. Martha means a workaholic. Martha means labor, right? It means labor. So if we're Martha and you're weak, then we just know we have an issue with you, because Marthas are meant to be workaholics. That is why you see, these names have a way of following us. That's why even when Jesus comes, there is the humble Mary who sits down to listen, and then there's the workaholic Martha who walks around working just to make sure that things are all right. Now, the Bible tells us that Lazarus is sick, and then news comes to Jesus that the one you love is sick. The one you love is sick. And it was Lazarus who was sick. Now, you see, we're already told that there is a relationship. You see, God takes all of us as sons. God takes all of us as daughters. He's the firstborn of all of us who believe. But this time round, it went beyond that, and they said, the one you love. You see, a participle is much more important than a normal verb. You see, a verb is an action, but a participle gives the quality of the verb or of the noun. It depends on how you've used it. And this time round, we are not simply told that Lazarus is sick, but we are being told that the one you love, which means that the one who meets the quality of love from Jesus is sick. You see, some people Jesus may love, but others are the direct object of the love that Jesus has. And then they are saying that Jesus, the one you love, is sick. You see, I've met some guys, and you tell them that your girlfriend is calling, and they ask, which one? Uh, which one? So you simply meet them when they are just with their friends. Say, hey, man, your boyfriend is calling. My boyfriend? Which one? You just know those ones are having issues. But the moment somebody says the one you love, there is a notion, there is a feeling that you automatically know the one I'm talking about. And now Jesus automatically knows that the person they're talking about is Lazarus. I'm not going to take us all through the whole chapter, but we know the chapter. I'm actually walking through Lazarus, rather John chapter 11. Now Jesus hears that Lazarus is sick. Now Jesus doesn't send word. You see, this is the very Jesus whom we saw that Jairus came for him and simply told him that my daughter is ill. And then Jesus walks, and as he walks to meet that girl, he is interfered by the other hemorrhagic woman having a flow of blood for 12 years. And then Jesus has to turn to now pay attention to the woman who has touched him, asking a very apparently redundant question in the throng of people gathering around you and asking, who has touched me? You see, all along Jesus have been touching you. How come this time round you want to make a fuss of it? Who touched me? And in the process, in the commotion, the lady shows up. I'm the one. Of course, Jesus knew everything, but wanted to buy time. And then, lo and behold, the news comes that Jairus, don't disturb the master. Your daughter is dead. And this very Jesus simply said, no, simply believe it will be okay. Simply believe it will be okay. So Jesus can send a word and people get fine because it's the word. Jesus can simply touch and people can heal, and Jesus can be touched. You see, in football, there is what we call a no look. And a no look is what we are going to give the Gen Zs. I can look at this one, but I pass the ball the other side and I beat the defender's mind and body. Because it's a no look. I'm looking this way, but I pass the ball the other side. It's called a no look. So I don't look there, but I do it perfectly. That you will think that I've been looking there because it is within my mind, but not within the defender's mind. So it tells me that Jesus can heal even in a no look. Somebody simply touches him, is looking the other side, and they heal. And he'll tell you that who touched me, in essence, is saying, I don't know who has touched me. But there is this moment when Lazarus, who is well known to him, has been told, Jesus, the one you love is sick. And Jesus doesn't send the word that can heal. Jesus doesn't touch. Jesus is not touched. He doesn't even say a single word and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. There are moments we say prayers and it's like it is normal for us to suffer. And Jesus is okay. And then Jesus says, guys, I think we need to go back around Galilee. We need to go back there. And where he wants to go is where they were actually chased out with stones. So it's like Jesus has no intentions of getting there. He would rather die than getting to Lazarus. Are you guys following me? Jesus, the one you love, is sick, and Jesus wants to go back where they want to kill him. He's not sent a word. And then news comes, actually simply gets it, and it's like, disciples, yes, Lazarus is asleep. It's okay. If he's sleeping, he'll wake up. The guy is dead. You see, look at verse 10. Okay, let's start with 11. He said this, and then he told them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm on my way to wake him up. Then the disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will get well. Jesus, however, was speaking about his death, but they thought he was speaking about natural sleep. So Jesus then told them plainly, Lazarus has died. I'm glad for you that I wasn't there. I know where sometimes it's like Jesus is saying that your predicament is bad, your marriage is falling apart, and Jesus is saying, I'm glad I wasn't there. We have made all the prayers. We are making all the supplications. Every single thing we are meant to do, we are doing. We are keeping the faith. But Jesus is telling others that things are crumbling down there, and I'm glad I'm not there. Can Jesus be okay when we are suffering? Can he be bragging over the fact that he's not there when we are suffering? He seems very unbothered. Cut the story short. He goes and meets them. And Martha, because she's the workaholic, she runs. By the way, every family has that person who is the glue. There's that person who takes care of everyone. They are concerned with their brothers, concerned with their sisters, concerned with the family, concerned with the father, concerned with the mother, concerned with everyone. That is Martha. Martha is concerned. Now they are crying, but she hears that Jesus may be passing around. Then Martha runs and meets Jesus. And then she meets Jesus with a very tough question. Jesus, where were you? Had you been here, our brother would not have died. In essence, Jesus, you're responsible for the death of our brother. How many times have we accused Jesus of being responsible for our challenges? Jesus, had you been here, my marriage would have worked. Jesus, had you been here, this guy would have married me. Jesus, had you been around, my business would have worked. Jesus, had you been here, things would have not gone the way they've gone. But you were not, and things went south. It means that sometimes when we think Jesus can be accommodated, or we can say that Jesus may be limited by geography. That Jesus, I prayed and you didn't come, you were not here. We think that just by the presence of Jesus, it means things are going to work. Allow me to let you know that sometimes Jesus can be in the boat and still that boat is thrown by the tempests. It's not just about Jesus being present, it is about who is present in your heart. Jesus, you were not here. And had you been here, our brother would not have died. But in this, she's making a declaration that Jesus, where you are, life is, and where you're not, life is not. I want to let you know that all those that are in Jesus have life. That's why he says, I am the life. He doesn't simply know about life. He is the life. That's why he says, come on, Martha, do you believe that I'm... Say, yeah, I believe, yeah. I mean, what does it do now? What does it do to me? Of which value is it? Even if I said no, you've said you are. All right, all right, right. Let's go. And as they move on, the message gets to Mary. Mary, the master is here. Mary also comes. And she does the same thing. Jesus, had you been here, our brother would not have died. Jesus is looking at them and doesn't understand why these people cannot even be happy for the fact that he has come. You see, there are moments when circumstances ransack us and we simply say, God, I need you. But not just needing you, I need you now. And I'm telling you, for every moment, Jesus has been needed now. Jesus has not appeared now. Are you with me? For the moments, Jesus has been needed now. He has not showed up now, right? Because the now that we have is not his now. And Jesus appears at his now, and his now is the best now. So we need you now, and Jesus doesn't show up. And he waits for 4 days when this guy is buried. Now, the question is, why for? Because there is nothing strange about God. There is nothing that is simply coming by chance about God. He comes after 4 days. Of course, according to the Hebrew culture that was there then, they used to believe that somebody can die and be resurrected if it is within 3 days. The notion of having the spirit walking around, moving, of course, having the spirit moving around is also another confusion. But then the spirit is moving, those things were rampant among the Jews, especially during the intertestamental period. They started believing that somebody can die and then their spirit lingers. In 3 days, something can be worked out and somebody can get back to life. But the moment we come to death 4, there is nothing you can do. It is beyond repair. There is no prayer. There is no magic. There is no wizard. Nothing can ever happen that somebody can come back to life after 4 days. And now Jesus comes after 4 days and asks these women that, where did you bury Lazarus? So they look at Jesus, who is much more interested in the grave than in the living person. Does this mean sometimes God is looking forward to having things go south? Which kind of selfishness is this? That everything may first crumble so that he comes at the right time and then you say, oh, yes, God, when everything was going south, then he came up. Which kind of selfishness is that? I mean, wouldn't we say praise to the Lord even if he did the things before they went south? And then he comes to the grave. And there are people that are all around. You see, when you're sick, not so many people come. But when you die, everyone comes. Because there is a way the world is much more interested in bad things than good things. People are interested in much more in our suffering than in our jubilations. That is why I can call people to come, that please come. I need to give a thanksgiving to the Lord. Come and join me as we thank God. Not so many people will come. Ask them that will come when they hear that I have died. Today, someone may not be able to spare 1,000 to move from a certain place to another to simply see me for how I am, but somebody will spend 5,000 to come for burial. There were so many crying, feeling like, oh God, oh, their only brother, oh, poor Martha, poor Mary. And of course, in verse 35, Jesus cries. And the clearest question would be, what is making Jesus cry when he was the very person who said, I'm glad I wasn't there? Actually, far from it, he's crying for something different. He created the world to be a perfect place. A place without sin, a place without suffering, a place without misery. But he's looking at what sin has done to the world. He's looking at every single person's face, and every person's face is filled with pain and grief and sorrow. And he had created every person to be as happy and bringing glory to the Lord. And then he cries about that. And then after he goes to the graveyard and says, remove the stone. You see, sometimes there are conditions in which we get, and however good we can be, we can never get ourselves out. Somebody has to assist us to take the stone away. The stone is keeping us in that condition. So Jesus comes and says, remove the stone. Now, this is where I have a problem with Martha. Sometimes some people seem to be so caring that in their care, they become the stumbling blocks between themselves or between us and God. Sometimes people seem to be so caring that they do not let God do his will in our lives. Now Martha comes and says, no, Jesus, they should not throw the stone away. This is the very Martha that was saying, Jesus, you were naughty and our brother died. We loved our brother so much. Had you been around, our brother would not have died. And now Jesus is saying, remove the stone. Martha comes with information that, hey, he's been 4 days in there. He is stinking. For the sake of your health, Jesus, for the sake of every single person sniffing around here, don't remove the stone. Martha seems to be so caring, but is blocking the Lord. Make sure that in whatever you're doing, you are not blocking the Lord simply because you want to be so caring. No. Please don't remove the stone. He is stinking. There is a stench. By the way, is she right? Are you aware there are people that have information about you? They say, Pastor, don't give that one the position of eldership. That guy drinks alcohol. Pastor, for the sake of the good of this church, don't bring somebody here in this kind of category. Don't bring that person to be the leader here. Don't bring them to be here. For the sake of the church, Pastor, we love our church. And for the sake of the church, leave that woman around because she is not even a faithful woman to her husband. You have true information, but God is not interested in your